Greetings and salutations. Shattered Gar here. Oh yes, I almost forgot. Coming to you to discuss our upcoming live stream of The Darkest Dream, brought to you at the fine folks of GUIQ. Our DM Dan Latham will be running Sixpenta through the last day at Carnival. Come join us and see what trouble they either get into or get out of. Now don't forget also that we are having a giveaway once we reach 50 followers, and then 100 followers, as well as 150. The prizes are a set of custom-made GUI Cube dice, 6 miniatures of the friends involved in this campaign, as well as the final one is one lucky viewer will gain their own copy of The Darkest Dream. Come join us and see what trouble we can get into, if you dare. Ta-ta for now. Greetings. Welcome to Roll Hit Die presents Dungeons and Veterans. There's been some changes, of course, in our lineup. We have a guest with us this evening, and we'll have him introduce himself once we get into introductions. But first, we got to take care of a few legal issues. First off, any sound effects and music you hear, of course, is being played through our Sirenscape. Sirenscape, pretty much if you want a little flair or atmosphere for your games, try out www.sirenscape.com. Also, that commercial you watched prior to the show kicking off was a commercial from one of our sponsors for our upcoming The Darkest Dream stream. The company's called GUI Cube, and they are chock full of immersive material that you can have and create your own game or play the stories and episodes they have set for you in a nice little box set. Also, through them, we are going to have giveaways. I'll go ahead and announce those here. Once our nice little Twitch stream reaches 50 followers, we're going to give away a nice set of GUI dice, as we call it. They're sparkly, clearish green with a little bit of black and gold lettering. Once we reach 100 followers, we got 6 minis that are being custom made by one of our GUI family, and it's going to be 6 of the members from the campaign that'll be starting up in 2 weeks. That'll be the 15th of November, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And once we reach 150 followers, we're going to give away a copy of The Darkest Dream from the same company, GUI Cube. Let's see. On top of that, I'd also like to mention all the maps and battle maps, maps in general, anything that requires us to show visual for the players as well as you, our audience, is all being done through Roll20. So, without further ado, I'm sure you all know who I am already. I am Dan Latham, the Dungeon Master for this campaign. And starting with, we'll say Marcus, and move to the right from there.
Hello, I am Marcus Scott. I am playing Brother Mayi, who is our lovely healer of the group, with some heavy baggage. Next, I'll kick it over to Fritz.
Hi, I'm Fritz Neufeld. I'm a retired Air Force reservist, and I'm running Sergeant Rock, who was a World War II soldier who just climbed Point du Hoc and then was about to get hit by a 16-inch shell when a wizard who was looking for somebody who was just about to die cast his spell and summoned Lord Sergeant Rock to this world. So it's sometimes a little confused. At least that's the story. I'll also be running Todd Meacham's character, Dumort, and he is a Ghostwise halfling barbarian monk that we met on the island that we practiced on recently. And then I'll pass it on to Bob.
For the unmute switch. My name is Bob Vincent. I am former U.S. Navy, currently DevOps engineer. I'm playing Bayor, a Indiana Jones style Gloomstuffer Ranger / fighter. And after me, who is after me?
All right. After Bob, usually we have She, who is played usually by Joshua Hill. He is unable to be with us this evening, so Brother Mayi, would you be so kind as to control She's character? I'm sure you can match the voice and the attitude and all that, right?
If I have to.
And our newest member and guest player tonight is...
My name is Curtis. I will be playing Surge, the Shifter Druid, for tonight.
All right. And is there any information or any kind of plugs that any of you guys would like to pop out there? You're more than welcome to do so at this time. With the noise of crickets, I'm going to assume that's a no. We're good. Just go ahead and kill us all.
Catch me Sunday night at 7 on Dungeons and Veterans.
You'll catch me and Dan on Friday the 15th and reoccurring after that on our game coming up for The Darkest Dream.
All right. So without further ado, let's see. For inspiration, which one of you reoccurring 3 players would like to give us a recap of last week?
Last week I slept.
Well, last episode. Let me rephrase that. Previously on Dungeons and Veterans.
Got the script or do you need it?
Yeah, I do remember what happened. Notes. We had sailed up to we were approaching the coast of Persh, the eastern coast, and we discovered some sea folk coming out to meet with us, some kind of mermen, and they weren't friendly. So we started out with a battle trying to keep these guys off our boat, and killed a couple of crew, and we managed to beat them and sail away, skirted around the southern coast of Persh, looking for a port. It took us a couple of days to actually find civilization, and then we started filling up this inlet, and then he told us that we would be coming up against a port called I guess XRU, apparently is how it's spelled.
All right, and you guys have made your way into the bay. You have the nice fishing village in sight. There's a few small fishing vessels, enough to hold like 2 or 3 people at a time, and a decent net full of fish. There's no huge ships. You are actually the biggest one that has ever came into this port recently, so you won't be able to get right up on the dock, but you can get close enough to where you can use your longboat. So with that, what are y'all doing?
Well, Captain, shall we give order to drop anchor?
Yeah. Definitely want to drop anchor here, and we'll try first. There's some vessels out, some small fishing boats that are out in the water.
Yeah, there's a few out there.
I'll try hailing them and see if we have any kind of language barriers and if we can communicate with them. try and establish what we're in for here at the port.
Okay, give me just a second. Sorry there, Brother Mayi. I did not see that till just now.
It's alright.
Sergeant Rock, do you have access to Dux's character sheet?
I do.
Alright, good.
I suppose I should.
So let's see.
I'm going to pass out switching to this and then clicking superpowers.
Well, I'm trying to get to the edit so I can give you permission, but it's not coming up. Where did it go? And I don't think I even... there it is. Looks like the... give control to... There you go, Brother Mayi. You should have control of him now. And I need to... Okay, we will get to that in a moment, so you can ask that here in a little bit, alright? Kurt? The question you gave me? Alright.
Oh, and for Brother Mayi and, well, for everybody except Serge, who wasn't there in the morning, over breakfast I told you exciting stories and gave you a briefing of life in Lingholm before the invasion, and they were confusing but inspirational. We get 13 temporary hit points from expiring leadership. It was jumped to 13.
I still have no idea who these
Woo.
people are.
You will get that too.
I never understand Sarge's talk, but I always feel so much better afterwards.
Alright, so you want to make a... figures. My computer is not responding. So you want to check, see if there's any kind of language barrier between you and the fisherman out in the water. So go ahead, Sarge. Tell me what you're going to do.
I call out ahoy. I get up in the crow's nest and you know, try to get us to sail up closer to a guy, and then I call out from the crow's nest, hearty ahoy, and try to sound friendly. Hey, Wombat, we're excited to see your port. What can you tell us?
Oh, you're scaring the fishes. What do you want?
Well, we're here to resupply and try and get some repairs to our ship.
You ain't getting that big piece of shit in there.
Well, we'll at least try to get our longboat in there and pick up some supplies.
Yeah, that little boat will work.
Do you have,
But-
do you have anybody here that can repair a large ship?
You can check in town, I don't know. Like I said, you're the biggest ship I've seen in a long time.
All right. Well, we're going to head into the town, and is there a place where people meet there, some kind of pub or something?
You might want to check with the dockmaster when you get there. Just so he, you know, keep track of you or what have you. We got to check in with him whenever we get there.
All right.
You still have no access?
Nah, I do not.
Well, shit.
It's the shopping episode, so we should be fine.
Yeah, sure. Nothing goes wrong in shopping episodes. It's okay. I'm having issues bringing up D&D Beyond right now.
Really?
It's saying, oops, can't find the page. Alright, so let's see.
You give me access to D&D here, or D&D Beyond, or
No, I thought I gave I gave you access. I guess it just didn't save it.
oh, okay.
Save and changes. And you should have it now, so let me know.
Yeah,
Alright.
I do.
Sneezing.
Oh, sorry, it didn't work.
I mean, Gesundheit.
Oh yeah. All right, so let's see. So you guys have spoke with one of the fishermen out there. It seems pretty irate to the fact that you're parking that big boat next to his boat, so he can't catch no fish.
We'll maneuver to a empty area close to shore.
All right. So who all is going?
How many can fit in the longboat?
You can fit at least 6 in the longboat.
I'd say she and Ducks.
Yeah. He tells she and Ducks to stay on the boat and keep watch, and the rest of us.
Three of us will go in.
Hold on a second. Got a question that just came in that I need to answer. Because I don't think we've ever done our show live on Facebook, have we?
That's one of.
And you know what? The fun part is that conversation that Sergeant Rock had, our lovely viewers only caught half of that since I've still got you guys muted. So,
I suppose they got the
so tech savvy. My lovely players here have introduced themselves, have done a little role playing, and had a conversation with a fisherman, and you heard none of that. So, we have Marcus Scott, who is playing Brother Mayi, who is also going to be controlling She, since he won't be here today. We have Bob, who's playing Vayor. We have Fritz, who's playing Sergeant Rock. He's also going to be controlling Ducks, since Ducks is not here today. And our newest player is Curtis, who will be playing Surge. Now that we're caught up.
He'll be waiting for us in port. So 4 of us are going to pile onto the longboat and row up to the pier. And Ducks and She will stay on the Dwight and keep watch, make sure that nothing untoward happens.
Oh, and any of our current crew that have decided to no longer be of service to us.
Alright, so the guys you rescued, how many of those? You got 5 of them left alive, correct?
I believe so, and then we have 3 of the pirates.
Right. None of them seem to want to leave the ship as far as stop working on the ship. They all seem to be pretty adamant that they don't mind being on the ship, but they would like some shore leave time, at least, since you're here.
Yeah, that's fine. We gave them all gold. So, yeah, any of our crew that want to depart.
We'll have them come with us out of the 6 for the first trip in. And then one of those guys should roll back and pick up 5 more and bring them in. And then tomorrow we'll do another set.
Aye, Skipper. Alright, so you guys make your way to shore and you meet, you send the longboat back out to get a few more crew members to bring in. What are you doing now?
Yep. Oh, I also emphasize that they should be on their best behavior. I don't want a lot of fighting, carrying on. And,
alright, Captain. Whatever you
these
say.
These guys are...
That's right, you're skipper, not captain.
Yeah.
We'll keep the fighting to a minimum.
Yeah.
No more than 2 dead bodies a day.
We want to be invited back.
I'd like to meet up with the dock master.
All right. You make your way towards the docks, and you do see a guy who looks like he's holding a clipboard, and he's checking fish as the small boat, fishing boats pull into the dock area.
Hello, excuse me.
Yeah. What can I do for you?
Well, as you can see, we came in on that large ship out there.
So that big piece of shit out there is yours?
Well, we have commandeered it, and you no longer have a pirate issue in this area.
At least once was less.
I
Rich?
think commandeering one boat's not going to stop the pirate issue we seem to have, but I'll let
Well,
you
the
have
other
it.
one's at the bottom of the ocean. If we can get some clean papers on this, and apparently we're renaming it. Well, Fritz,
That's
was
why.
it David?
No, it's the Dwight.
The Dwight.
The
Yeah.
fuck's the Dwight?
Hell if I know. He likes to talk about
Oh,
stories he's read. Apparently.
All right, and what about that foremast there? Looks like shit too. Looks like somebody took a child's hammer and started beating on it.
Yes, we tried to remove any kind of markings that would identify this as a pirate ship, so we don't get shot at accidentally. If you happen to have anyone who can go out there and do repairs, we'd like that as well.
There is a shipwright further in town. You might want to go check him out, but you usually find him at the tavern drinking. There's not too many big ships that can be repaired around here, so.
All right, I appreciate that. Also, do you know of anyone that may be looking to become part of a crew?
Not around here. This is a fishing village. Don't nobody want to go any deeper in the bay here.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. How much would it be to draw up new papers from this being the port of origin?
Well, I have to go talk to my secretary about that, and we'll figure something out.
All right. We will be heading to that tavern. What was the name of it again?
I didn't give one.
Okay.
I don't
Is
think it
there
really
only-
has one. It's just the only tavern in town. We just call it the tavern.
Okay. I will be there. If you could send a runner, let me know the cost, or whenever you need get a hold of me. That's where I'll be.
All right, just keep your noses clean. Is all I can say.
I'm a man of the cloth. My nose is always clean.
Just a thought. We could partner with the local jail to hire somebody in return for paying off whatever they owe. That's the usual way of recruiting crew in small towns like this.
what happened to press gangs?
Well, I wouldn't call it that. It's a business transaction.
I mean, I'm sure there might be a drunk or two in the drunk tank, but I don't know about too many people in the jail.
Not a whole prison.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't, one of them big fancy cities with the big docks and stuff. It's just a little fishing village.
Well, on that topic, we are kind of interested and headed towards a major city. What is the nearest major city that we can sail to from here?
Well, let me see. I know we got Bach just south of us here, but it's not really got a port attached to it, and I don't even know where their port is. We got Weir. Of course, there's that island of Orzul down there towards the south, but I don't know if I'd tell you to go there.
Well, we're going to go there eventually.
Can you tell? What can you tell us about Orzul?
All I know is none of our fishing boats go anywhere near it, and
There's got to be a reason for that.
any merchant ships that we used to have coming from there has not been through here in about a month. And there's tales of all sorts of strange things going on over there on that island, so we pretty much try to steer clear of it.
Definitely be interested in hearing those tales.
I'll tell you what, you go to the tavern, you buy a few people some drinks, I'm sure you'll hear some tales there, but I got some work I got to do.
All right, roger that.
Yeah.
Oh, and one more. There is Netherfear, which is a long way to the west of us, and it's a pretty good sized dock port city down there. In the what was it, countries Costeria, I believe is the name of that place. Yeah, that's the next two ports got is Nosted, which is what is the name of that port? Wycliffe?
Rickless.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. And then you got Nethvir. And that's about it. I
That's a
mean,
bit. Yeah, sorry. Well, I think we're probably going to be hitting Mall before we hit those two things.
all right. Well, like I said, if I was you, I'd steer clear of that Orzul because I'm hearing some strange things. But hey, like I said, go buy somebody a drink in the tavern. I'm sure somebody will tell you the story.
All right. Yeah, we need to get some info.
All right.
Cool.
So he walks off, starts going towards the little office, and You hear some conversation going on inside, and you guys make your way towards the village. Like I said, it's not that big. You definitely stinks. If you've ever been near, near the bay, um, when some of the fishing boats have come in and they've dropped their load on the dock, you get that briny smell, fishy smell mixed with salt in the air. So the whole village smells like this.
Well,
The
I'm sure we
buildings are
probably
all
don't.
they're all wood buildings. There's no rock foundations or nothing. So it's all little like cottages just thrown together. And before long, you do find music coming from one of the bigger buildings in town, and you can tell it's the only one that's at least 2 stories tall. The rest of them are all 1 story. And it's pretty run down, dirty windows, but you can still see some light coming from through the windows. Right now, I'm gonna say it's midday, but it's cloudy, overcast.
Okay.
Well, head for the music. Sounds like a cheery thing.
Uh-oh. Where's my
Uh-oh.
power? All right, so you're heading towards the music, and I gotta find my power before my computer shuts down. Okay, with that, I'm gonna disappear for a second, but I can still hear you.
All right.
So you make your way towards the village, towards the tavern.
Yep.
Being friendly to any passersby.
You see a few, I don't know, say probably a little over teenage age, pushing some wheelbarrows around. They got different kinds of fish in it. Let's see. You got an old codger too, sitting here or there with a corncob pipe in their mouth, just sitting back watching people walk down the streets. They'll nod. Someone will grumble as they're walking past, but none of them seem overtly open for conversation nor overtly hostile.
Okay.
Okay.
And now you are standing in front of the tavern, and it has no name. There's no sign, no nothing. And you can just hear the sounds of a lute being played.
All right.
Going
I'll
in.
walk in.
Hardly hesitation. I try to get in there in front of the brother Mayi to keep him from over partaking. I kind of nudge him and go, yeah, you've been on the wagon for a while here. You might want to take it easy.
Okay, so as soon as you enter into the tavern, you see, you see a middle-aged elven woman wiping the bar top down. She's
Elf.
wearing. What was that?
An elf.
Oh, okay.
Or to my guy, that's just a French lady.
You notice You want to swear he looks almost animalistic, sitting at the bar with a woman in red leather. Both of them are sitting at the bar talking with the bartender. There's a old fella wearing a straw hat. You assume it's a fella because he's passed out with his face down on the table. And then you got a little halfling sitting off to the side next to the hearth playing a lute, but nobody seems to be paying him any attention.
Okay. I'll walk by the little halfling, put toss him a gold coin for the tip, and then head over towards the bar.
Okay. As you get towards the bar, the woman looks towards you and goes, "Well, ain't this a mighty nice surprise? Serge, ain't this Brother Mayi?"
I turn and take a look at him. And what do I see?
You see, basically, it looked like my picture. Elderly gentleman, maybe mid 40s, red beard with some gray in it, bald head, dark circles within his eyes, wearing a grayish, dirty uh, uh, robe, basically over his armor and equipment. And when I hear my name, I'll look over. It's like, do I know you?
So, what you see is a fairly young-looking individual, but he's got a medium-length beard, long brown hair, and it's all kind of scraggly. It's not really kept up.
Mm-hmm.
And he's wearing this hide armor. He's got a shield on it, strapped on his back, and he's got this kind of weird looking wooden staff that's kind of got a tiny little tree leaves growing out of the top.
Okay.
He gets up and stands up and starts to approach you. He's not really built super muscular, but he's about 6'10", and he's got dark tan, kind of, maybe a light to a dark tan, and he kind of approaches you. Maybe gets a little too close, depending on how you feel.
And his
Go ahead, Dan.
companion, she stands a little taller than he is. Her hair is just past shoulder length, but is just as red as her leather armor is. I have a picture, but I can't show it to you.
You may recognize an amulet that he is wearing around his neck.
Oh yeah, and she carries hers openly around her wrist.
Ah.
I reach my hand out to shake yours, and he does have some animalistic features on him.
Now, you do recognize these two people. You have seen them in a glimpse before. They apparently were in at least one of the groups that your son was connected with.
Ah. Okay.
You remember seeing them or a glimpse of them during his time of training. Around the time that he disappeared.
Okay.
And have news of your son.
So, Brother Mayi, Io told us you'd be here. Of course, Serge didn't believe him. How would we be able to pick out you showing up at a strange little fishing village like this?
Well, my lady, it is a long story. I was actually en route to find what happened to my son's party. And then, of course, we were ambushed and woke up on an island, which we had to spend a few weeks trying to escape. But I'll reach out and take Serge's hand. Hello, my brother.
Pleasure to meet you.
Though we don't know each other, but I've seen you around.
So, Serge, I'm just going to go take care of the rooms. As she runs her hand across the back of your neck, you go ahead and take care of this. I'll catch up with you later.
Yes, I'll do that. He gets very...
And she chuckles as she walks away, knowing that she just made him uncomfortable as hell.
Yes. I was going to say nervous, but I knew that wasn't the word. You can tell it's all over his face. He gets extremely uncomfortable.
Do you need to assist her?
No, she'll be just fine. She can take care of herself.
So what brings you here?
Well, you, actually. We were told that you'd be coming here, and that we were supposed to come find you, and that you might have a lead, maybe not, on what happened to your son.
Until a couple days ago, how would you have known that?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's interesting that you would know something that we didn't know about him.
Well, I didn't know about that until Io told me about that. It's kind of out of my wheelhouse with the magic that they use, but to each their own, I guess. And I trusted them. I'm just following orders, and they said that you'd be coming here, and that's where they sent us.
I wish
Don't
they
trust
had
fortune tellers.
let me know my journey would have brought me here, because I would have came here first.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that you're here and not in the middle of nowhere, at least.
You wouldn't happen to know what's going on down there at that island of Orzul, down to the south.
I'm still fuzzy on the difference between here and the middle of nowhere.
Oh, it's better than what happened. I've been in the middle of nowhere. It's not too bad, actually.
Now, as far
Nowhere
as your
gets a bad rap.
As far as your knowledge of what's going on down south that Sergeant Rock just asked you about, you don't know because Io can't see what's going on down there. It's blank. But you do know that the trail that you were following leads that direction.
Okay.
But
all right.
what exactly is going on there, they can't seem to see past.
Okay.
Well, to answer your question about Orzul down south, I don't know what's going on down there, but I can tell you that that's where the trail that I was following is going. We can't really see what's going on down there, but we do know that that's where I was headed.
All radio and telephone communications been cut off, huh?
I like him. He's funny.
I got a guy who's been telling me, sort of my patron, my name Balda, Colonel Balda, I call him, said I need to go down there. So we're going to head over there.
Did you say who again?
Man named Balda. He's my patron, sort of, in the Forum Tenebris.
Oh my!
Do we know anything about that other than?
We're you know them as a black network.
Okay.
Slavers, assassinations, trying to influence different political machinations, whether it's to take this person out, to allow this person to take control. But yeah, it's a black network of smugglers, slavers, and assassins.
Dirty deeds, not necessarily done cheap.
Okay.
Now, of course, Sergeant Rock doesn't know this.
No, he doesn't.
Knows that they're in charge because he is now, because what the magic that was used to bring him here.
Yeah,
he doesn't know their evil nature. He just knows he's given orders and he follows them.
Although he's guessed because they brought him here because they wanted somebody who would definitely not be known anywhere around here.
Yeah, Sergeant Rock is starting to get the picture that they might not be a good group of people. So what Sergeant Rock does with that information is on Sergeant Rock.
All right. Oh, and the picture, just for you guys, the picture I have in this is not what I look like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I should have pointed that out earlier.
Let's see.
Yeah, Sergeant Rock doesn't look a whole lot like the icon I'm using in multiple.
You sure?
I mean, if you want, I can look like your icon.
On the inside, he looks a little like that.
All right. So, if you're going there anyway, I mean, why don't we just, I guess, tag along?
You wouldn't happen to have any shipboard skills we could use. Got a couple pirates here, but we lost our navigator.
Oh, that's a shame. No, unfortunately, I don't.
Have you been around?
I'm your navigator. Wait, what do you mean you lost your navigator?
Well, we lost our professional navigator that was a member of a previous crew.
Yeah, but I'm a member of the current crew.
Yeah, well, you're still learning. I'm looking for a guy who's got some long history with these seas. I don't want to get lost on the way to Azul.
Same old story. Without experience, you can't get the job, and you can't get the job without experience.
Do I believe Vayor at all when he says that? His whole "I'm their navigator" and whatnot. Do I believe him at all? Just with my passive, like, really? I mean, he said they needed one, and he says that he is theirs.
Well, he got us here, but first we sailed east, then we sailed west, and then we just followed the coastline to get to here. So I wouldn't want to have to rely on him at the.
I'm getting better.
I figured out we were going east. I'll give you that.
All right.
So I think it's fairly easy trek to get from Zur down to Bach, because we can follow the coastline until it starts to open up, and then we just have to do a little jump, a day's ride down to the coast of Hodig. So as long as we can maintain due south, we'll definitely hit Hodig. And probably get a chance to visit this place, Bach. Actually, I guess then we can just sail along the coast of Hodig until we get to where it starts curving east again, and then we can just do a day's trip west to get to Orzul. So why not take me that hard? Keep the sun on our left, then the sun behind us.
Sergeant Rock, why don't you check around with the rest of the tavern, see if you can find us maybe some more crew and that shipwright that could fix the boat.
That's what I'm really focused on, is the shipwright. So
what's wrong with your guys' boat?
We had to commandeer it from previous owners.
Previous commandeers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we stole a stolen vessel.
Yeah. But yeah.
All right.
Okay, so gentlemen, I'm going to show you what his teammate or his companion looks like.
So, from what Marcus asked, did we get that information? He asked it in Roll20.
Give me a second. I don't have that screen up.
Oh, okay.
I'll send that. It was a whisper to you, but I'll send it to him as well.
You meant to be a whisper?
Yeah. Well,
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See, look at you trying to. All right, so there you go. That should be on everybody's screen.
Melisson?
Yep.
Yeah.
That is
What's supposed to be on my screen?
Should be a picture.
Oh, yeah. Now, got it now.
That is Serge's companion that is giving him a hard time.
And
Yeah,
she has
he's like a foot shorter than me, but makes my guy very freezy.
And I just closed out of Roll20.
And it looks like this medallion here, it's sort of the thing you put on top of a staff in order to shine light down into the sepulchre and see the city location of the tomb of the Ark of the Covenant.
You may have seen me mine around my neck occasionally from time to time.
Okay, well, apparently I can't show it to everybody else because I have my setup set up to where the pop-outs or handouts. Let's see if that works. I can bring my handouts to another page so I can smooth them completely off the Roll20 page. There we go. That is what Melisson looks like to those who are actually watching us at the moment. And I need to close that. All right, so the question was asked in a whisper to somebody else and not me, so I can't answer that question.
It's coming to you. There. I accidentally closed out.
He does know
Okay.
because he was.
The reason behind it?
He knows because Io told him to begin with,
Okay.
but with what happened with him, Melly, another team member that's not present, and your son, is the reason why they're here.
Okay.
They know your son. Well, he knows because he trained with your son. Melly was just happened to be there at the very end when your son disappeared.
Okay.
And the other party member is currently on another assignment. He can tell you that as well. The other team member was Slade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had Slade and Vegas and a couple others, but mainly it was just Slade, Melly, and him.
So you can elaborate however you feel based off what you know of the character we're using.
Okay.
So if there's any information you want to share along those lines, you're more than welcome to.
Well,
Now, Sergeant Rock, you're doing something?
Yeah, he's going to the bar and he's gonna turn around and then call out. He's gonna say, "Hey, I'll buy a beer to anybody who knows a local shipwright. Can point me and introduce me to him."
You look around, and the only other patron is that passed out fellow on the table.
Oh. Okay. Well, I don't suppose that guy leaps up and runs over for a beer.
No, I think I've given him entirely too many beers this evening. Is there something I can help you out with there, sir?
Well, yeah, our ship's got needs some work, and looking for a shipwright. You could at least point it in the right direction.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the current shipwright is indisposed. You see the fellow over there at the table? He's the shipwright.
So I found him. All right.
It would
In a
appear
roundabout
so.
way, you did.
Yeah, he's going to the bar. He's gonna
Uh-oh.
turn around and call out. He's gonna say, "Hey, I'll buy a beer to anybody who knows a local shipwright."
Somebody
Let's make sure that's muted.
lost
Yeah,
an
it was coming
application.
through on his side.
That's me. All right.
You not
Well,
want to wait till he sleeps off the drunkenness he's got, because he doesn't get much work.
Well, he must be. He's likely to be pleased to see us. Well, then I'll just have your whatever your lunch special is and a brew.
well, if you want, I may be able to help him.
I'll let him rest a little bit. I could use a meal in a bar. But he
All right, that's fine.
A little tired of hardtack and fish. So
So have we gotten anything out of the halfling bard in the corner?
Does anybody talk to him?
I just tipped him and went to the bar.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's still just
I'm
playing.
gonna go offer him a silver for everything he can tell me about an Orzul that I don't already know.
Oh, you're
And
you're asking about Orzul?
Yeah, I've been told there's a number of entertaining stories concerning Orzul, and I'm anxious to hear them.
I don't know if I'd call them too entertaining, but there's tale that their shores are patrolled by the dead.
Really? Dead
Ships
what?
Full of them.
Dead ships?
Dead ships, dead crew.
So dead people
Sure,
on ships, dead pirates maybe.
that's what they
We
say.
might have contributed to their compliment then.
They say that the ships are crewed by the dead, and that at night it's even worse.
What's worse than being dead?
It's the dead that come from the ships. Supposedly, they're all captained by
Davy Jones?
no, not Davy Jones. I don't know who this Davy Jones is you're talking about.
Oh, different story. Sorry. Go ahead.
But their captains are
Yeah.
not seen during the day, but when they come out at night, it makes nobody, but very few are able to get away from the ships then. And those who don't get away become part of the crew in some manner.
So, do you know anybody who's actually seen such things and returned to tell about it?
Well,
Or is this just rumors of rumors of rumors?
There was this one guy that said something about it, but that was about a week ago.
I'll tell you what, there's a gold piece in it if you can find him for me. Or tell me how to get to him.
Find him. He made sure he went as far inland as he could go.
Oh yeah?
He said he didn't want to see water ever again after dealing with those ships.
Really? Got hydrophobia, does he?
He's not afraid of the water itself. He's just afraid of the ships that are on it.
Ah. Probably wouldn't be able to recruit him then.
No.
Anybody else who, is there anything else you've heard? I'd tip him a silver for that bit at least.
Well, there is here a tale that it's not just the ships that are controlled or patrolled by the dead.
Yeah.
They say that Orzul's now a dead city.
Really?
Yeah, as of probably a month or so ago, they say some ship chartered in there arrived, and within days it started getting darker, and the dead started walking the streets as if they were patrolling them.
How long ago did this happen?
About a month ago.
Really?
When did Balda send Sergeant Rock out to go to Orzul?
He gave you that. Let's see, how long have you been on the island? I'd say you've probably been on the island for at least 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, give or take.
So it sounds about the same time period as the mysterious stranger and his newly found bottle made their way from the port you left towards Orzul.
Wow. That's interesting. We came from an island where something similar was going on. There were plenty of undead there.
Well, they say Orzul's full of them now. Now, there are people that are still living there, they say, but it's controlled by the dead.
So the living serve the dead in this city.
It's what they say.
Well,
Still like to meet a member of this day that's been there and come back to tell about it.
There's only been the one guy, and he took off a week ago straight into the hills. I mean,
told a lot of stories on the way, though.
He didn't even stay long enough to finish his drink.
Oh. Definitely something to think upon.
They say when the ships roll in, the fog rolls in before them. I mean, that's all I know.
Yeah, well, that's enough to chew on for certain. I think I'll be doing that.
All right, so what are the rest of y'all doing?
Well, while that was going on, me and Serge went to an empty table away from everybody.
All right.
Serge is eating at the bar.
I'm got a little bit of grimace look on Serge, curious on why he's here. You know what the Order has done. Why are you guys here?
Well, after our little mission, we were on our way delivering a message. And what happened was we had a little incident, and your son was supposed to keep guard over us while we were taking care of an issue. But when we came back, he had disappeared from us. And we thought maybe the worst had happened and we couldn't find him anywhere, but by the time we took care of our mission, we got back and Io informed us that we were to seek him out because they had found out that he was still alive. And the nearest lead that they could get was you. And they were thinking that maybe you had contact with him or maybe knew what was going on. Maybe he had got a hold of you and they sent us to find you.
Now, both of you roll me an insight check. Okay, so Surge, you have no doubt in your mind about this. Brother Mayi, you do know that even when you were there, some of the higher ups, they don't give you all the information. They just give you what they want to give you. So you both are certain there is more to this story than either one of you have been told.
Alrighty.
Just for him disappearing was not grounds for you to get excommunicated. You know that.
Yes.
So there's something more going on that involved your son than just he disappeared during a training mission.
And I mean, it was kind of odd because I don't know how long you had been there, but I had been with him for about 3.5 years, and I'm still technically with him, you know. I'm on a mission for him right now, and this is coming up on possibly 4. You lose track of time kind of sometimes. And I mean, I trained with him and a couple other fellows for 2.5, 3 years before they sent us on our initial trial to become full-fledged keepers, you know. And in that time, I never did get much of a suspicion on him until towards the end there, where he started acting a little strange, and some of the things he had said had caused a little bit of confusion on my side of things. So it was just kind of strange all of a sudden for him to just up and leave.
I hear a whisper coming.
Maybe. Well,
Alright, that's a good question. You see kind of a, I want to say golden aura maybe from him.
And I think that,
Not
and I
just from
consider
him, you see it from his equipment, but you're not picking up anything negative in his aura whatsoever.
oh, okay.
And
But,
I don't
the
consider
drink that's
myself.
set down in front of you, you do get a nice golden color from it too, since it's a nice thing of Maruka.
Alright. Well, I've been with the Order for a while. I was one of their seers. And I raised complaint about this mission that y'all went on. And then all of a sudden, I'm excommunicated from the Order. And now I have you and others here.
Just me and Melazon is all.
And I'm to trust that you're not here to remove me from interfering anymore with the Order.
No, they didn't say anything about that. If they wanted just to get you, stop you from interfering, I guess, they probably would have sent someone else.
You get the feeling that he is being honest with you as much as he can be. There's no subterfuge in all that. He was sent here to assist you, not to stop you.
Mm-hmm.
Which you will find is kind of odd in and of itself. You were excommunicated. Why is a keeper being sent to assist you in your search?
Right. Okay.
So once again, that should throw some red flags up as far as what's going on with your son.
Yes.
Now, we've never discussed your son's name, have we?
Oh, did we?
I don't think you did in your background. You just mentioned your son.
Let me take a gander.
Well,
I don't remember.
And I did not mention this in my description of myself, and I don't know if it would cause anyone to look at me differently, but Surge also has very piercing yellow eyes. And it's not something that just goes on and off. That's just the way his eyes are, if that's a little strange to someone or not. Along with, if you look closely, you might be able to see faint stripes on his body.
now,
Very
of course,
faint, but they're there.
Of course, did she stay on the ship?
Yes.
All right. So, because if she was here, he'd be asking if you had any tattoos.
Yeah.
No tattoos, just the faint tiger-like stripes going on the body where you can see his skin.
Which, of course, indicates that he is a shifter.
Along with the bestial type look about him. Pointier ears,
Think what,
a little
Wildcats
hurry.
kind of deal?
Yeah, that's exactly how I describe it because it's easier for me is a think Thundercat. Not quite, but
Thundercats,
kind
not
of.
Wildcats. Different comic book altogether.
It's fine.
Yeah. Now, it looks like the only name I gave you was Captain Burgess, the one who got me excommunicated.
Your son's name is Horo.
Horo. Okay.
Horo.
Horo Suru,
There you
but
go.
we just call him Horo.
Alright.
Just shorten it up a little.
So, how was his demeanor the last time you saw him?
The last time I saw him, well, it was kind of odd because we were sent to talk to Io, which was kind of weird, I felt, to be sent to the head honcho to talk to her. And it's like, well, this is kind of weird. Why would you get these trainees and send them right to the leader, It was kind of odd. And while we were there, he was kind of rude, saying some stuff that you really don't want to say to the leader. And then, we finally got him to stop talking, probably for the best of his health and ours. And once we were done and got our mission, got us told what we needed to do and where we needed to be to start our mission, we were leaving, and he decided to ask me, it's like, why do I trust them, Because they go about and they steal kids from their families and, just take them away, which was really weird to me because everyone I had ever talked to there had, and even myself, we were all either volunteers or were actually, we had taken our own initiative to become a keeper in and of ourselves. Never had I ever heard of them going to a village or going to a town and just abducting a kid and be like, hey, you're coming with us now because, you can see near.
Which is also odd, seeing as how he was your son and you were already in the Keepers.
Yes. And this is my son that was doing that, or the captain that was telling me
the
to
son.
do it?
Your son
Really?
was doing this.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know if this would be the right term, but he was seeming kind of flaky towards the end. Never had he done anything against anyone there, per se, but it was awful odd of him to just act out like that in front of the boss and then run off. I mean, we couldn't find any trace of him, and we didn't see any, what's the word I'm looking for? Foul play, I guess, would be the word, as of his disappearance and where we were at. So he just up and left on his own, I guess. And now with what they're saying about trying to find him, I guess something is going on.
That doesn't sound like the son I raised.
Yeah, and it was real odd for him to do that because, like I'd said, I had spent quite a bit of time with him over the years that we had been training. And then he just
And
got
then towards
up
the
and
end of his training, he started to change, as
mhm.
if something was influencing him.
Yeah, and it was awful odd.
And I assume you don't have the ability to see the auras of people.
Oh, I can. I just,
Did you notice a difference in his aura?
No.
no, I didn't.
You actually noticed no aura from him whatsoever, and at the time.
At the time, I didn't see
But then again, you were also
anything.
dealing with the cultists,
But yeah,
the crash of the ship.
the ship we were on had literally fallen out of the sky, and we had been dealing with a whole bunch of cultists and goblins at the time. Just a lot was happening, but
Yes, cultist.
yeah.
All right.
And I don't know if that had
I still
anything
have the
on him or
marks from
not.
those people.
Yeah. Still got that whip?
I still have that whip.
All right.
And you'll notice she has a whip on her side that it has faint purple to it. But at one point in time, you could probably tell it probably was real deep purple. But whatever she's been using it for is starting to change the aura of it.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate your candor, and I welcome you guys to join us.
Oh, I'm not going with you. I was just escorting Surge here.
Mm,
I was
Oh, yeah.
told to, I didn't know your son quite that well. Matter of fact, he disappeared when they found me being tortured. Surge was more closer to him than I was, so he's the one who's going to be assisting you in this endeavor. I was told by Io to just be here of service if need be.
And what kind of services do you provide? And I'll glance over to Surge with a smirk.
Why? That all depends upon what kind of services you're asking for.
Well, you are from the Order, and I'm just curious why the Order is assisting me when they excommunicated.
That is kind of an odd reason to send two keepers to assist someone who is no longer with the Order. So whatever your son has done has got to be something utmost terrible. Just disappearing during training is not grounds to send two keepers to assist a, as you put it, excommunicated keeper to find. So there's something more at play here than that, I'm sure of.
Well, I figure after a day or two of rescuing town, we'll head south and get to the bottom of this.
You sure do travel with some strange people, though, there, Brother Mayi.
They just happened to be on the ship as I sailed out. I don't know how much you overheard. We were en route, and then we were attacked by pirates, and we awoken upon shore on an island east of here. Ragtag motley crew that we have now. We stuck by each other, kept each other alive. So,
That's good.
But your friend over here sure does talk funny.
He likes to read a lot of fantasy books, I think.
Well, I've read a lot of fantasy books myself, and I've never heard anything like he's speaking.
He's probably special. Might need to get those colored pencils so he can draw with them.
He does have an awful odd aura about him, though.
That he does.
He says he's connected with the Black Network, yet I don't sense any negative aura to him. It's almost as if he's good. And yeah, they're talking about you, Sarge.
Yep. He's more lawful. He's not really good, but yeah, he's around here, and he's just being used by him.
Oh yeah.
But he has to answer him to him because they brought him here and they Taught him how to operate here.
Well, I'm sure they are a very dependable crew to be working with.
And it'd be nice to have more crew on the ship. None of us are sailors. And the crew we have, we rescued from enslavement.
Well, has any of that crew decided to leave you now that you're on shore?
We gave them the opportunity. We told them we'd pay them more. They have said they'd stay.
Sergeant Rock, I've just been reminded. Please roll me a perception check. Sergeant Rock, you notice that Mayi has something in her belt that is very familiar to you. It is a revolver. Looks like an
What?
old Colt 45.
Oh. Huh. All right, well, I'll point that out. I hadn't noticed it, but I'm like, it's a fine looking sidearm you got there, ma'am.
Oh, this old thing? We found it during our training. I use it as a focus when I'm firing off my blasts.
I've got just GI stuff here. I've got, of course, the 1911 and, the handy trophy, typical U.S. infantry.
Well, they say this is from the old world prior to the calamity. I was able to redo it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I made one for Surge to use that actually works. It fires these little round things out, these little round stones. It causes some damage when they fire out. You gotta use black powder, though, to make them shoot. But I like using it more as a focus for my warlock abilities.
Not exactly sure what you're talking about, ma'am, but U.S. Army logistics keeps me in a good supply of ammo. At least so he believes.
Who?
So,
These folks from that England place you talked about?
so you've seen one of these before? And she starts spinning it around in her fingers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're a popular item. A little out of date, but still used a lot where I'm from.
Well, this is actually the only one I've ever seen. And like I said, it was found in some tunnels and supposedly was part of the old world.
Wow.
Of course, there's nothing much known of the since prior to the calamity anyway. Our librarians' records don't go back no more than 847 years.
And how long ago did they say the calamity was, they think?
Well, they believe it was 1,000 years prior to that, so that's at least 1,800 years or so since the calamity first went through. Now, the exact reason for the calamity or what happened during the calamity is still unknown to us, but there's rumors there's places in this world that you can find that may have evidence of the old world. Who knows? Maybe it'll give you some insight as to what actually happened.
Going back 1,800 years, sounds like during Roman times. They did have a fall of their empire. I don't really study much about that. That's kind of ancient history.
I have no idea what you're saying.
Yeah, they didn't have weapons like that, those Romans. They had gladius swords and stuff like that.
Well, they say the method of creating these is lost. Can't be made anymore. Hence why the one I made for Surge works, but not as well as they say the old ones should have.
Well, let me take a look. Old Surge, what's your weapon look like?
It looks like a rough, not exactly streamlined like, say, yours or hers. It's as if somebody took it apart, looked at it, and made a rough version of it using what material was found around a blacksmith of now time. So, almost like a Fallout style pistol, I guess you could say.
So he looks like a homemade revolver. It's a pretty fine job.
Revolver? Is that what you call this?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of cops still use them.
And
Most people It's like my sidearm here.
I'm sorry. What is a cop?
Police officer, constable, I guess you guys call him
Well,
over
I
here.
understand a constable. I just don't know this police officer words you're using. You definitely
Yeah.
do have some strange words.
On this side of the ocean, apparently you guys call them constables or police side. We just call them cops.
Are you talking about City Watch?
You could call them that. Yeah.
All the City Watch I've ever seen either carry spears or swords. I've never seen anyone carry these. Matter of fact, I'm the only one I've seen carry one prior to meeting you.
Not sure where you're from, man, but where I'm from, just about every cop has a gun of some sort in his holster.
Gun.
Yeah, it's just an ornament.
I thought you said that was revolver.
I was gonna say, you did say revolver. So which is it? Is it a gun or a revolver?
Well, that particular gun's a revolver. Yeah,
so there's more
1911.
than one version.
Yeah, there's a variety of different types here. Most cops carry revolvers right now, but some of the more wealthier cities are transitioning to semi-automatic weapons.
And what is a semi-automatic weapon?
Oh, yeah. Well, and one example would be my sidearm here, and also the rifle, and he has up his staff, the M1, and says, yeah, these are examples of semi-automatic weapons.
Can I look at your staff?
He unloads the magazine and hands it over to her to take a look. Oh, wait. Yeah, you can't unload it, right? It's got that bin. He just makes sure it's unsafe and says, well, you handle that real careful, ma'am.
No, she takes a look at it. Let's see.
It's a pretty hefty staff.
All right. That works. She spins that sucker around. She pops open the chamber, looks inside, sees it's empty. And you say this thing has ammo? Do you by any chance have any that is not inside the rifle that I could look at?
He pulls out a magazine of the hollow points he loads for his hex spell.
Which is just an empty clip that says hollow point on the side of it. Right?
Yep. Yeah.
She looks at it confused. She's like, so this works?
He says, yeah, it's 8 rounds of death right there.
There's nothing in... Am I missing something here, Sudge?
I'll take a look. But
Brother Mayi?
Like I said,
I-
he needs those coloring pencils.
does my passive insight pick up anything on him? Like, it's a 17 for passive, but I can roll if you want.
I mean,
just like
he's as honest and clear as you think he is. He believes that there's hollow point rounds in this clip. That's the only way his mind registers the fact that he can still fire this thing.
Yeah. And he's still looking at, he looks over to the bartender and go, understand the French don't really, haven't gone all that automatic yet. They're not really into the semi-auto weapons. They're
I'm sorry. What's French?
like the bartender over here. She's obviously a French lady.
Oh, I'm sorry. The bartender is an elf there, sir.
That's right. That's what I said.
I don't know what French means.
He hears off. He hears French.
It's still another strange phrase. Anyway,
Wow.
you sure do travel with some strange folks there, Brother Mayi. I have to say.
That I do.
Sometimes accidents just make for some strange bedfellows.
Now, Sergeant Rock, do you have any rounds, the actual rounds that came with this, or are they all gone?
No.
They're all gone?
No, in order to keep him from being confused, the group of wizards that summoned him here just gave him a weapon he would be familiar with and told him or have conditioned his brain to see that he always has ammo and it's always being provided by logistics guys, quartermasters.
Okay, so there's ammo in this box. Mine
As far as
takes
he's
the stuff.
concerned. Mhm.
All right. Well, she takes a look at your your staff a little while longer, then she hands it back to you. Well, it is very interesting. So, anything else you guys would like to discuss?
No, we just need to get the shipwright sober so you can start working on the ship and
Alright.
then resupplying the ship.
So, about that time, a young kid comes running into the bar. Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, I was told that I need to bring this to you, and that it'll cost 100 gold.
Okay. I'll take a look at the. I assume these are the documents for the ship.
Yes.
Okay.
You did not leave a name that you wanted to name this. Well, you did, Dwight,
Yeah, we told Dwight.
and it's written the Dwight out
All
of
right.
Zur, and your name is on the ownership of the ship.
Okay. Guess we'll motion over to Vayor, say, hey, we need to pay the lad here.
I don't want to give money to a kid. I think we ought to go back down and visit the harbor master direct, the man who did the work. Make sure he receives the money.
All right, we can do that.
Okay, I guess follow me. And he
Thanks.
takes off out of the bar and starts heading his way back towards the docks.
Follow him.
Oh, excuse me.
Are you sure you guys don't want to talk to the shipwright first?
We need him to sober up.
I might be able to do that.
Won't you and Vayor head to the docks and we'll get this shipwright sober and get him over to work on the ship.
How much have we spent of the party loot to pay these crew members?
I think it was like 40 gold total.
Yeah.
Okay, minus 40.
5 gold each. There was 8 of them.
Okay, crew. Minus 100 for ships documents. I personally spent about 10 shopping. Any other expenditures I should note?
I was gonna use my personal funds to purchase some more health kits.
Okay.
Healers kits?
Yes.
Yeah, it might come in handy. Might be nice for each of us to have at least one.
Yeah. Well, with me with the healer's feet, I can use that to actually heal people too.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a lot cheaper than trying to hunt down a healing potion.
Right.
Probably more likely to happen. I don't have a healer's kit. If you guys happen to pick one up for me to carry.
How much were healer kits?
They're fairly cheap. I don't have prices here. D&D Beyond has prices.
They're $5. Five gold pieces.
Okay. I'll throw 20 into that to get 4. I'll hand 1 to you, Fritz.
All right. Neato.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right, that leaves 468 gold remaining.
Oh, so we do have some money.
Yeah.
Sergeant Rock has 19 personal gold. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We had it all added up to 618. We paid 40 to the crew, 100 for ship's documents. Like I said, I spent $10 shopping for stuff that I lost in the shipwreck. In addition to my personal funds that I had, that didn't lose.
Yeah.
It leaves 468.
Okay. We can use that to get a crew and resupply the ship.
Now we still have some things that are salvable: a carved bone statuette, small gold bracelet, the black velvet mask. I think she claimed.
Yeah.
Periapter wound closure was claimed by.
I have that.
Cleric.
Yeah.
Since I'm the one that always has.
Given, we said you need this.
Okay. So is there?
We gotta try to sell some of those things while we're here. Or are we just gonna hang on to them? Zircon, we got some gems: a zircon, a moonstone, 2 jasper, an onyx, carnelian, a chrysoprase, a star rose quartz. Don't have prices next to them.
Yeah, I think we need to wait until we get to a place with some wealth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hit one of the bigger ports. We can probably exchange those for like some diamonds or stuff for resurrection spells.
Resurrection. Well, you think we're going to get killed?
Well, in this line of work, that is always a possibility.
And how many times did I come close to death?
Well, that's you.
Yeah, but that's sort of your specialty, to come close to death, right?
Yeah, really, you kind of enjoy it.
Hopefully you won't have to worry about that anymore.
Brother May, are you a sadist?
From the sounds of it.
He has an unusual relationship with dead and graves.
Yes. To an extent. Will put myself in harm's way more than others.
Alrighty then, I suppose to each their own.
Yeah. Well, I'll go over to if we're gonna go back and talk to the shipwright, I'll go over to him and give him a tap on the shoulder. And is he out real cold?
Did you just tap him?
I tapped him on the shoulder, yeah.
Yeah, he.
I'll cast Lesser Restoration on him and try and wake him up that way. Cure the poison and paralyzed, deaf, and blinded conditions. Try and see if curing the poison condition will wake him up.
What the hell?
It cures deaf and blind, but not dumb.
What the hell? What the hell did you do?
Well, I just woke you up.
No shit. I was peacefully sleeping and dreaming some good dreams. Damn, I ain't even drunk no more. How long have I been out?
Bartender?
Who the hell are you?
We have work for you.
I'm still not telling me who the hell you are.
My name's Serge. It's a pleasure to meet you.
I'm Sven. You gonna buy me a drink?
We'll buy you plenty of drinks after you complete some work for us. We hear you're the shipwright.
Oh yeah. Real busy job here in this little fucking town.
Well, we have a big job for you just off of port.
You got a rowboat that's got a hole in it?
Is there a window or anything that peers out to the...
They're all dingy looking. You can't get a good clear view.
Alright. Well, won't you step outside with me and you can see how...
What'd you do, drag it up the street so I can look at it here at the bar? Sure, why not? He steps outside. Or he gets up to follow you out.
Alright. We'll walk out. Did we see any peer of the mast or anything from the distance?
Yeah, you can see it. I mean, like I said, all the other buildings in this little village are all one story, so the mast of the ship definitely sticks out above it.
You see that mast there? That's my ship.
An actual ship here?
Yes.
All right. You got my attention. What's wrong with it?
We had to commandeer it from some less than.
Unpleasant individuals.
Yes.
All right. So
We need some repairs.
Well, take me to it. Take me to it. Let me see what the problem is.
All right. I'll holler at one of the crew guys that hasn't gone full into his drinking and see if he can run him out to the ship while we go take care of the dockmaster.
Hi. Skipper?
Yeah. If you wouldn't mind running the ship right out to the boat, have them start repairs, and I'll get you hooked up when you get back.
All right, right away. I'm on it. And he starts leading him out the door.
Do you got any repair material on that ship?
Well, I don't know.
Well,
hopefully, right, we'll see what he needs and can come back and let us know the cost and all that.
fair enough, I guess. But is that the only boat you got? Because if it's going to require a lot, it might take him some time going back and forth.
Right.
But I guess you guys are planning to stay in town for a little while, aren't you?
Yeah, a couple days here or there.
All
Depending
right.
on how long the repairs take.
Makes sense.
Are there rooms at this inn? Is it just a tavern?
There's a few rooms upstairs. I've already got one set for Surgeon myself. I'm sure the lady at the bar can accommodate you gentlemen with some rooms herself.
Wouldn't mind not sleeping on a ship for a couple days.
Can't say I've ever done that, so I wouldn't know how to compare it.
Oh,
I have
it's not
slip out
too
under the
bad.
stars a few times, but
Rock you to sleep.
When the weather's good, it's not bad. When the weather's bad, it's bad.
I have to take your word for it. Well, some of your word for it, because you still talk strange to me. I don't know what's right and what's not. So anyway, you guys looking to get rooms, or you heading to go talk to the shipwright?
I want to go out with the shipwright. Go out to the ship, and since I'm serving as skipper, I want to make sure I learn what there is.
I'll tell you what. Since you all are going to take care of your ship, I'll see if I can get you guys some lodging for the evening. I'll talk to the woman for you.
Appreciate that.
French woman, as you call her?
Yeah. Fifi.
I'll take your word for it.
How many people do you plan on staying in the inn?
Well, the crew can sleep on the ship. I may spend a night or two on the ship myself. But
Is it just the three of y'all?
no, we got a couple more. So keeping watch on the ship right now.
All right. Should we expect them to come to shore and stay in an inn, or are they going to stay on the ship?
Well, I think we'll kind of rotate it. So I'll stay in town a couple nights, and then Dux and she can come in and stay a couple nights.
Oh. All right.
We're not going to
No more than three at a time, then.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys make your way.
Yep.
Do you all have a map of the world as we know it to kind of tell where you're all going on the ship?
Yeah, I got one right here.
Oh, all right. Just checking to make sure you weren't flying completely blind.
No, we're I'm acquiring some no small skill in this navigation process.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Yeah, we have several
ship and their charts. We were flying blind until we got this ship, and they had charts. That was good for us.
Good to hear.
All right, so let's see. You guys start making your way, and you can hear Mayi speaking with the woman behind the bar as you walk out. So, who's talking to the shipwright? Not the shipwright, but the dockmaster. Is it the tabaxi that I see on screen 3? I didn't realize Vayor had a pet tabaxi.
No, I've met one of them before. They're looks quite a bit like the herbalist back on Nirenthil. Mighty nice guy, him.
I see your cat loves the camera there, Bob.
This one's a little mischievous. His name is Rincewind. After the Discworld character. Yeah, after the Discworld character. He's a runner.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll go talk to the dockmaster. We have any other charming fellows that would like to come talk with them? Maybe we can reduce the price.
Bayer's our purser. I think he should be going with you because there's going to be, we have to pay the guy.
Yeah.
And me and Skipper, I want to go out with the shipwright.
All right, so you're going to go ahead and get on the boat with the shipwright and head out. And I guess.
Yep. I'll ask Sir if he wants to accompany us.
I might hop on the boat if there's room. I'd like to possibly see what we're going to be dealing with.
All right,
yeah,
there's room, seeing how it can hold up to 6, and there's only 2 on it, not counting the skipper at the moment.
Yeah. Well, if the crew guy, if Skipper's going, then the crew can go back to the tavern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aye.
Crew back there. And
all right, and as you guys are leaving, you do notice about 3 or 4 of your crew members are going in there and sitting down and ordering food and a drink. Of course, there's no other libations they can procure other than food and drink, so. One of them does make a lewd comment, of course, towards Mayi, and she turns around and shoots them an evil grin.
It's not very smart of them.
As soon as you said shoot, I was thinking something else, but.
Oh. Well, I call back. Best behavior, guys.
She does run her hand across the hilt of it, but she has no need as her... No, she's not going to pull that out right now. But she does run her fingers across the hilt of the pistol she has on her hip and just smiles at them. Because all they've done so far is made a comment. They've not done anything worse. Yet.
Yet. I'm hearing it.
Alright, so let's see. We'll deal with... Brother Mayi and Vayor are going to the dockmaster.
Yes.
And the little kid is still like he's like a half a block up in front of you. He hasn't stopped to turn around or nothing.
Okay.
All right, so you make your way.
Yep.
And let's go ahead and take ourselves a little 5-minute break then, as you guys are making your way that way.
Okay.
And we'll be back with you in 5 minutes, so that my players here can go, use a restroom or get something to drink, smoke a cigarette if they require to do so.
If you got them.
Yep. And we'll be back with you in 5. And we are back. Before we left on our little break, our group has split up. Two of them are heading out towards the shipwright, are taking the shipwright out to their ship to see the kind of damage that he needs to repair, while Brother Mayi and Veo are going to speak with the dockmaster about the writ of ownership for the new Dwight.
I like that the pair that's going out to the ship, it's Sarge and Surge.
Yep. Sarge and Surge going to the ship. Alright, so with that, you guys make your way to the shipwright. He's doing his, not the shipwright, the dockmaster, who's, once again, he's out there with a what looks like a clipboard, taking notes and marking down ships and fish count as they're being dropped on the dock.
Okay.
And you see the kid tugging, and he points back towards your direction, then takes off running.
Okay. I assume the kid handed the documents back to the shipwright, or the...
Well, you guys had the documents.
Oh, okay. All right.
I guess y'all didn't want to send the money with the kid?
Well, 100 gold for a little kid to be running around town with might be a little dangerous for him.
I'd hate to be in the town you come from, then.
Well, I'm not used to small towns like this.
All right,
So,
well, is there any problem with the price?
well, we're just wondering if it's 100, why it's so much?
Well, we got to have documentation stating that the ship was purchased here, and change of name. Got to go through the county, the court system that we have. I mean, you wanted to make it legal, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so that different processing fees that we have to deal with the constables and the government of this particular country we're in.
Please,
Processing fees, that's what we call it nowadays.
not
Where I come from, they were just called bribes.
Once again, I'd hate to live in the cities you guys come from.
So,
I'm sure you would. Everybody likes, what they like.
Well, while you guys were away, there is, what do we got here?
I was about to say, so 100 gold's the cheapest you can go, and
Yeah,
with that
I
roll,
mean-
I'm gonna say yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I could make a copy for less than that.
More.
I mean, if all we need is documentation, I can make you some documentation. Hang on a second.
Just pay the man.
Might want to have a backup copy just in case the original gets lost anyhow.
Yeah.
At least there's that.
Do you have a notary on your ship?
Oh, we have several notable people on our ship.
That's notoriety.
Sarge here is pretty notable.
Yeah.
Does
Notoriety.
your skipper have, what was that? Does your skipper have a seal?
No seals. No bets of any sort, actually.
Yeah. Right now, all we have is frogmen. Navy SEALs won't be invented for another 20 years.
By the way, one of the kids made you a sign that says Dwight,
Nice.
so you can have it put on your ship somewhere. And it looks like a kid made a sign with a paintbrush and a piece of wood.
D''WYT.
No, just DWHITE.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sarge will not be pleased. He may have to fix it himself.
All right, so you
I
guys pay the
actually
man.
improve the appearance.
Yeah, since
So,
no way I can charm them into taking a cheaper price.
All right, what is going on here? I'm getting some warnings on my Twitch page. I was just checking those out. Alright, so with that, we have the shipwright going out with Surge and Sarge. And Surge, what you see is a rather large, I think it is a brigantine ship, 2-mast ship, and the front of it, where the what did I call it? My brain is farting at the moment. The front of the ship, where the
yeah, there is a name for that. The
Bow?
oh no, it's the bow of the ship, but I'm talking about the piece that's on the front of it. The
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Masthead.
The hood ornament.
yeah, well, pretty much it's a hood ornament. It's the
Masthead.
No, that's on the mast.
what is it? called?
Figurehead.
Figurehead. There you go.
All right.
Figurehead. On the front of the ship. Looks like somebody took a hammer and chisel and just beat the heck out of some. Might have been a ghost looking, like a screaming specter of sorts, but now it just looks like a mangled piece of wood in a vaguely humanoid shape.
That's probably close enough to what Dwight looks like.
That's
Vaguely humanoid. That's my understanding of him.
That's an ugly figurehead you got there.
Still work.
What'd you do? Have a 5-year-old work on it?
If we get a pro to work on it, that would be better.
What do you want it to look like?
I'll do some sketching on a piece of paper, and then when he presents it, he actually does a full minor illusion of Eisenhower as seen on cameras, and says, "I need it to look like this fella right here."
Give me a performance check for the drawing you're drawing first before you do the minor illusion.
This could go badly.
That's kind of what I was hoping for. Then you popped up that minor illusion real fast.
Do you have a pencil or something to write with?
Alright, you draw a halfway decent looking stick figure of, and then he's like, well, you know, the illusion works a lot better. I think I'll use that for the guideline. And he looks over the damage of the ship, says, yeah, alright, I need some of that. Let's see, that mask looks fine. Don't look like you need any mask. Some of your sails are pretty bad shape. How did you stay afloat?
We had to get some.
Do you want anything else done above and beyond just repairing this thing?
Weaponry be nice. Oh, no, I'm not there.
Well, we already have some cannon on board.
Yeah, I see you got 4 cannons on each side.
Yep. I don't think we need more weapons than that.
Well, I mean, you got enough room up there in the front for a harpoon if you wanted one of those.
How bad a shape is the ship in?
Oh, it looks like she went through hell. I think she's damn near ready to sink before they finally finished off the other ship.
All right.
I had the record here. No, we'd only taken about 54 hit points.
Out of how many?
Out of 120.
Okay, so about halfway.
Yeah.
Half ready to sink.
Yeah, no, it must have been 74. I know we were below half hit points, but we weren't below a third. So, yeah, it did get a little beat up.
Okay, I'm trying to load something right quick. But things are running a little slowly. Alright, let's see. There we go. So you just want straight repair on this? You want nothing above and beyond?
Just a straight repair for now. Yep.
All right. He pulls a little, I guess, notebook out of his pocket. Starts scribbling some stuff down.
Sarge tries to look over his shoulder to see if he can make out what's going on.
Looks like he's drawing the ship somewhat, and he's circling certain spots on the ship and putting numbers out beside it.
So he looks like a professional. The Sarge is pleased.
How much is this professional going to cost us, though?
I see it coming like this. He's going to say, we're going to say, how much is it going to cost? He's going to go, well, how much do you have?
How much of this do you actually want fixed? Because... Alright, so let's see.
As I'm walking around looking at it, anything I can fix with mending, I'm going to do. Like, it's just small stuff, like a small thing that's broken, I can find it and put it back together. Tears that are no longer than 1 foot, you know.
You find
like,
that half the...
There's been a lot of Merkin know-how already applied because the Sarge has mending and he's been sailing on this ship for several days since the last battle.
Right.
So he's fixed all the little stuff.
So there you go. You find no little things to fix. All these are big
All right.
holes or pretty bad off damaged wood. All right, so let's see. What kind of figurehead did you say you want to look like Dwight, right?
Yeah. I pulled out a photograph of Dwight David Eisenhower, but that was the minor illusion. Spell was him presenting a photograph clipped out of a newspaper.
Okay, and you just want a straight figurehead. You want nothing upgraded about it.
Yep.
All right. Let's see.
And ironcladding, of course.
What was that?
We have the cash for that.
No.
Probably not. Oops, wrong button.
Your patron is good for it.
All right, so let's see. Figurehead will take about... Let's do the math. Alright, so probably overcharged you on that.
Since we're back on the ship, I'll have Ducks come over and be in attendance too, just kind of, so that it's not just the Sarge alone.
Alright, so we're looking at, I'm going to say, with some of the damage you've got, we'll say 155 gold will do the damage on your ship, as well as redoing this figurehead.
Okay.
All right. The Sarge thinks that's reasonable. He kind of nudges Ducks. Ducks gives an insight check if the guy seems like he's weaseling or not. And I think Ducks concludes that, the guy's not trying to rip us off too bad.
No, not too bad. It seems to be, I mean, for what you know about shipbuilding, it sounds like a fair price.
Yep. So Sarge extends his hand, says, it's a deal. How long do you think it'll take?
I'd say about 10 days.
10 days right here in port.
I'm going to have to ship the material from the docks out here on a boat to work on it. Fixing that mess you call a figurehead is going to take a little while. So yeah, about 10 days she should be top ship shape.
All right. Well, we'll be having various crewmen and members of my my party staying on board at any given time, but we'll try to stay out of your way.
Now, I will tell you, the ship could use some decent upgrades. Now, granted, not all of them that I can do here, but I hear over at, was it Netherfear, the
Yeah.
big port down there, they've got some pretty good shipwrights there that could probably give you some really outstanding upgrades if you feel the need to go that route. Just saying.
Ironcladding, right?
Well, I can't answer your question because you're out on shore.
Right. I'm thinking, yeah, that's going to be deferred maintenance. We're going to be going down through the islands of Hotig and Orizul on our way to Costeria. So
Orzul?
we're just going to have to do the best we can with what we've got. Have you heard any news of what's going on at Orzul?
There was rumors some dude came by about a week or so ago, I think, talking about dead ships and dead crew, and he barely made it out. He floated in the bay here on a barrel. So, I mean, he didn't even come in on a ship. He came in on a barrel.
Yeah, well, sometimes these tall tales can get kind of glorified over time, but we need to check it out on ourselves. I'm on a mission, and I know some of my traveling companions. We set sail on a ship for Azul nearly a month ago. Our missions have not changed.
Well, maybe if he had gotten there a month ago, it wouldn't have been so bad. I'm hearing all this stuff has happened within the last month. But yeah, they say ships of the dead walking the streets. I mean, there's all sorts of weird rumors about that place. I've not been there myself, mind you, but I've not seen any ships come back from there, and we used to get ships from there all the time.
It sounds like typical Nazi propaganda with their Totenkopf and all that stuff. So we're gonna have to go check it out for ourselves.
Don't know what that means, but I'll take your word for it. I'll get started on these repairs right away.
Thanks. I'm pretty sure I got some crewmen on board who've been at sea before. I'm sure they'd be willing to help you out if you need a hand with a few things.
Sure. Where's your bosun? You got a bosun, right?
We do have a bosun.
You do?
Yep. So, and I'll call on the bosun and the crew. I'll have a little all hands meeting and kind of say, well, we're here for some repairs, and you guys have been paid. We're probably gonna be here for 10 days, so we'll probably be paying you again after a 10-day. But any help that this guy needs, part of your duties living on the ship, and we're going to set up a schedule for shore time, shore leave, and ship's watch time.
All right, Skip. Now, who's your bosun?
Did we ever come up with a name for the bosun? I don't think we did.
Well, thought it was one of you guys.
Thought that was ducks.
Was that Ducks?
Yeah, I think that's ducks.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. That would have called Ducks over. So yeah, he's over.
Yeah.
So I go, yeah, Ducks. Go ahead and set up a proper watch schedule, and everybody gets some short time. At least a third of the 10 days we're here.
So
At the end.
who worked on your figurehead? Because that is a mess.
That'd be ducks.
He's not really an artist. He's more of a fighter.
Yeah, he looked like he really was fighting this thing.
He was, yeah. Occasionally he was clawing at it and biting it. I don't know if that was really the proper technique, but he tends to claw and bite a little bit. So, yeah, it'd be good to have a pro do the
does
work.
explain the teeth marks around the eyes.
Yeah.
All right. So, what are you two doing now?
Well, while Serge is walking around the boat by himself, he's going to feel a little prick in his back as she comes up behind him, wanting to know who the hell he is.
A prick or like a poke?
Poke. Of
Okay.
a blade in your back.
All right. All right.
Who are you and why are you on my ship?
Oh, I'll turn around and hold out a hand and tell him, name's Serge. I'm a keeper of here talking to Brother Mayi, and looks like I might be joining you guys for a little bit.
Okay. As you reach out with your left or right hand,
Right hand.
he'll grab the back of the wrist and flip over your forearm. Look and see if you have any tattoos.
No, just the skin and the possible, if he looks close enough, the stripes on both.
Let's see. If notices that.
All right. This might be a question for Dan. What would he want to roll if he were to feel my gloves that may or may not look like they're there?
Well, he's wearing gloves too, so it wouldn't be no difference.
Because mine are invisible.
Yeah, but
If you-
he's got gloves on, so he'd just feel the shake. He wouldn't be able to feel any texture to your invisible gloves or what have you.
All right.
So he'll look over. He may notice the stripes. You're not here. And just turns and walks away.
He's an odd fellow. What is wrong with these? Okay. All right.
All right, so what y'all doing?
We're down at the docks waiting for a shipwright or for them to come back so we can give them the sign and figure out, I guess, pay the man. All that.
Yep. Get on a boat back. I'll take ducks off the ship this time and say, you're going to get a little bit of a short time here today, but you'll be on the boat tonight, and then we'll swap out in a couple of days. But I'll take ducks and the shipwright back to visit with Vayer, our purser.
All right. So you guys make your way back to shore, and I'm guessing you'll see Brother Mayi and Vayor sitting there, just finishing up with the dockmaster. You have 10 days. What would you guys like to do in those 10 days?
Well, how much do we have after repairing the ship?
Well, Skipper tells him how much did he say it was going to cost?
$155. So what do you say, Vayer? After that, we should be down around 300.
318.
All
right, and then I'm going to allocate 40 of that to pay the crew after the 10-day to stay on board. We want to keep those guys on retainer.
Yeah.
And give them some spending money in town, right? Because they're going to want to stay at the end and stuff.
Yeah. And I assume we ask around town, see if anybody else has some sailing experience that wants to get the hell out of Dodge.
Let's see, you've got currently 8 crew members.
Yeah.
You got young, like maybe 1 or 2 young kid fishermen who want to get away from the fishing life because they want something bigger and more grander. So I'd say you probably get 2 more crew members.
2.
So if you want to look up commoner stats for them, you can have 2 more commoners added to your crew.
They're kids, you said?
Oh yeah, they're kids.
About what age?
Huh? You got 17 and 15.
15's just a ship's boy. It's not going to be that useful. How many does it normally take for a complement on this ship?
For that particular ship, I want to say it was 20 total. What ship did I give you?
So the player's handbook purchasing doesn't really narrow it down to brigantines and galleons and stuff like that. There's just a sailing ship.
Yeah, I'm looking up the brigantine now. Well, I'm trying to anyway.
Just curious how these parents will feel about their kids running off the sail into certain death.
We're
Death.
kind of
Did you
quiet
say
on our
death?
Zool here and just
I thought
saying,
you just wanted somebody to get on the ship and sail with you.
yeah, yep, and we're gonna pay him.
The 15-year-old leaves. Just
All right.
forget that. I don't want to die.
Gold
Too young and
PC.
pretty for that. Okay, there is
Dying is not strictly necessary.
Alright. For some odd reason, my little one is taking a long time to load. So we'll say... crew capacity is... For a basic sailing ship is about 30, I suppose.
Okay.
But that's usually like with rowers.
Oh, yeah.
You guys don't have any rowers. You've just been strictly sailing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wish to try to hire, you're not going to get that many here. You only get, like I said, you only got 2 people out of well, now
Yeah.
there's only 1.
Okay.
What happened? Did you mention the destination?
They're kids. They need to know that they may die.
No. I mean, everybody knows if you go out to sea, there's certain risk associated with it. We don't need to add to that.
Where are you guys going?
We're headed down to the islands to the south, and then in the end to the island, the big port of Netherton. What is it? Not Netherton.
What island to the south are you going to?
Well, we'll be heading up Bach, Netherford. So we'll be probably our first port of call will be Bach, and our last port of call will be Netherford.
Roll me a deception check. Okay, he believes you.
That makes it sound like, I mean, that's probably the truth. Just not going into a lot of detail about what's in between.
Well, you still have 1 new crew member if you
Alright.
take him.
That brings us to 9.
Plus our band. So, yeah, I'll just like to pick up supplies for the ship.
All right.
But we'll
So-
probably do that close to the end of the week. Some, I guess, like a barrel of fish or whatever dried meats we can get. And
All right, you're able to get a barrel full of dried fish.
okay.
What they tell you is real good to use out. When you're out on the sea, doesn't go bad quite as fast. You also can get a barrel of fruits like apples and not really many bananas, but maybe some apples, some berries, that kind of thing.
Fish, berries.
Okay. Don't we have a tea crew?
You want citrus.
Yeah, some oranges.
All right, you can get some oranges, some lemons, some oranges, maybe a grapefruit.
Lemons are good. They'll last longer than oranges.
Huh?
Lemons are good. They last longer than oranges.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can get a couple barrels of fresh water as well.
All right.
So,
All right. Something that might help us out here. The
but
brigantine, smaller than a brig.
you
and
do notice, as you're asking about supplies,
Uh-huh.
that there are small boats going out to your ship with these said supplies on it before you've even asked for them.
Oh, okay.
Shipwright, the one of the guys on the dock actually lets it slip that the dock master had included restocking your ship in his price.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's a no.
All right. So no need to inspect the cargo for bombs or anything.
Well, I mean, you certainly can if you want.
All right.
Bear would do that. It's in his nature.
Okay.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
Let's see. Core investigation.
You find nothing of any hinky thickness going on. Now, the first night when you guys make your way back towards the tavern, you do find two of your guys unconscious with a broken nose, and one's got a broken arm.
Mending?
I will heal their wounds and tell them to report back to the ship, and they will remain on the ship since they can't follow orders.
It wasn't our fault.
What happened?
Never is.
I know who was.
He dared me to pinch her butt.
Yeah, that was where the fault lies.
Well, since you love dares, I dare your ass to stay on the boat for the next 10 days.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to go any dares anymore. They're painful.
Will be
What's
painful.
even more painful is not going with it.
She's mean.
She's a redhead. I could have told you that.
And you do notice the rest of the crew that was in there are sitting as far away from the bar as they can where she's sitting at.
Okay.
I'll go up and I'll sit next to her. Now, is that really necessary to go that far?
Sometimes you got to put a little boundaries. I know, I like a good butt pinch like any other woman does, but usually it's when I'm asking for it, not when I'm not.
Meanwhile, the sergeant's going over to talk to the crewman and saying, well, all you have to do is be gentlemen and not be rude.
So what's everybody else doing?
Do we have any tinkerers in our group?
Do you ask that out loud?
Yes.
Why, I kind of tinker.
Well, I was just thinking, since we are short on crew, if we were able to develop a device that will allow the oars to row themselves after we put them in place. And
Well, did our ship even have accommodation for oars?
Yeah, I don't think it did.
Oh, okay. Then I'm
Yeah, ours is just a sailing ship.
We'll disregard that then.
Okay, not a problem. But you do notice on her forearm is this weird, almost not quite triangular shaped device. It's metal.
Okay.
And it's, if you look closely, it looks like stacks of metal on top of metal, just like about an inch or two thick, but it's thin layers of metal on top of each other, and it looks like almost like a ring right around where her wrist would be.
Okay.
So you can tell that she does tinker with something, because apparently she's made some sort of device that she carries on her forearm.
I'll subtly detect magic.
That's a good question. I can't recall if that had any magical properties. I think it's strictly mechanical.
Oh, okay.
The no,
Steampunk mechanical?
it's strictly mechanically based.
Okay.
She does look at you funny when you start staring at her. Something I can help you with, Brother Mayi?
Just
'Cause you
checking
do
out your
notice
wall.
you do notice that her full outfit is magical.
Okay.
Um, the other item you're not going to notice because she's not got it out. So yeah, I think just her clothes appear to be magical in base.
Alright. Okay. So nothing fancy with the Iron Man bracelet.
Not that you can see magically. No, actually the only thing not glowing on her is that armband thing.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, other than supplies, I have no plans for the week.
All right. Anybody else got any plans for the next 10 days?
Just practicing my navigational skills.
So, what all do you guys have that isn't already covered by everyone that's on the group? If I'm going to be sailing with you, I might as well be helping out where I can.
Well, I'm the cook and the doctor, or surgeon. Let's see.
I'm the de facto navigator and I guess purser, as Sarge puts it.
Yep.
And I think Dux was handling the cannons.
Yep.
And
serving as a bows and a
Do we-
third.
Do we have extra ammo and powder for those cannons?
you have enough for maybe one or two more combat, but you can't replace any here.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of sucks.
But, Serge, I assume you have some.
The lady in red doesn't have a supplier for black powder?
Well, I do, but not in this little podunk town.
Well, you got 10 days. Is that long enough?
Let's see. 10 days. Nope, because the nearest town to find anything is several days sailing west.
Sailing. Okay, well, sailing is
Right. So
out of
there's
the question while we're getting the ship prepared.
no other ports in Persh.
Nope. Nearest port from where you're at is in Nosted.
Pretty lightly populated around here. What about Bach to the south?
They tell you they don't know of any port there, but there is a city there. So as far as docking, they don't know for certain.
Huh.
There may be. I mean, I'm sure there's a place that ships can make landfall, but as far as actual operating docks, no.
Yeah, I mean there must be trade with these adjacent cities.
They say there used to be trade with Orzul, but things have changed. There is a dock further south past Hatig in Watia named Ware. There's a dock there, but that's, once again, those are... That's about 9 days sailing if you're sailing in the big ship.
Yep, 10-day sailing.
But she does tell you that there is a really good black powder black powder merchant in Netherfear. That's where she got her last load of black powder.
So where they could upgrade the ship is where they would sell the powder.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. I don't plan
I
to
think
head
we need to acquire some more funds before we can afford upgrades.
Yeah.
We can barely afford repairs.
I think we afford repairs with some margin. But yeah, I'm sure we have some more expenses coming up in our line of work. But right now we're all on a mission. So we're just going to resolve that first.
All
We're
right.
all on a variety of different missions, but we all had to get to Azul, so let's complete that task.
Now, you guys have already decided what you're going to purchase wise
For
in general. Then we get like I said, you had the player's handbook to choose from.
oh
Yeah, I've
feeling good.
updated my character sheet.
All
Well,
right.
I've updated my character sheet in Roll20, not in D&D Beyond. I'll copy it later.
All right.
Yeah.
You was wanting to find somebody to show you how to.
Be a professional navigator.
Yeah, that.
All right.
I bought these navigational tools. I need to learn how to use them better.
All right. So for the next 10 days, we'll say 5 gold a day.
Oh my goodness, that's going to cut into the profits.
Wow, $50.
So for 5 gold a day, you actually find somebody that will teach you how to properly use your navigation tools as well as read the star charts.
You okay with that, Sarge? Because that's got to come out of party loot. I don't have that much.
We need a navigator. So yes, 50 gold allocated to that task.
Minus 50 gold pieces trading equals 228 left over. All right.
Okay, so now you have navigator tools and you can use that with your proficiency.
Good.
Anything else?
What does that use? Wisdom or
That's a good
intelligence?
question. I don't know.
Intelligence.
Well, what do you have? You're a ranger, so your wisdom's going to be.
Yeah, I got better wisdom than intelligence.
So let's stick with that. We'll say it's wisdom based, just like survival.
All right, so I'll just roll survival for the navigation tools.
All right.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. All right. Sarge is mainly as the skipper. He just kind of pays attention and plans things, and is a morale officer as well. So he spends the 10 days just kind of keeping morale up and giving everybody some extra temporary hit points.
Welfare and Recreation Officer?
Yeah, MWR.
Yep.
Speaking of morale, should we see if we can convince the bard to join us? That's in the tavern that no one's paying attention to.
Sing us a little ditty every now and again while we're out at sea. Some sea shanties.
Is he genuinely a bard, or is he just there, playing in a bar?
I don't know. You
You
talk
could
to him.
always ask him.
Yep, we're going to talk to him. Tell him, we could use.
I know he's got a few stories, but
Yep. We'll offer him some pay. 10 gold if he'll join us on a trip across the sea.
You want me to sail with you?
Yeah. Yep. We need crew to be buoyed.
I don't
need
know
a
how to
storyteller,
sail.
somebody to spread our fame after we're gone.
And of course,
You want me to write
You
your
also-
stories?
yeah,
Yeah.
you will become a chronicler of our travels.
Well, what should we call you then? I mean,
Our
I can't
team?
just say, "Hey, these strangers are sailing a ship." I mean, you guys got a name for your group, right?
Yeah, we'll call
We're called Dwight.
the crew of the Dwight. But I think the Big Red One sounds cool.
Your group is called the Big Red One.
Yeah,
Name
Number-
in progress.
I mean, I got to write this down. So, what is it?
Big Red
Big Red Dwight.
One. Oh, wait a minute. No. Actually, I don't want to use that because there was a name for the Rangers that climbed the Point du Hoc, and that the Sarge identifies himself as a ranger, and he was part of that group. And I can look that up here on Wikipedia. U.S. Army Rangers.
How about the Rutter's Rangers?
Yeah, James Rudder.
All right.
We'll
So
call
you're
the
wanting to call
Rutter's
your
Rangers.
group the Rutter's Rangers?
Sure. Yep, we're just a detachment of those guys.
Okay. What say the rest of you?
I never understand what Sarge is saying, but it always works out. So sure, I'm in.
Sounds good to me.
Sure.
Serge is like, whatever.
I understand about half of what this guy's saying anyway. I know Rangers.
Alrighty then.
Does that mean we have to start carrying bows?
Like a ranger?
All right. So, anything else before we move on?
So we had 10 full days of basically downtime.
Yep, 10 full days of downtime. You learned a new skill for navigating. Did you decide what position you're going to try to hold, Surge, while you're on this ship?
I don't know if there's really much of a position. I figured I could just help out with surgeon and healing if needed be.
Okay.
Help out with what's needed.
I don't
Definitely
think Mayi
strips.
needs to ride with you.
And I was looking and I was wondering if y'all had lanterns or ways to see in the night.
I got some.
Because torches can burn out rather quickly, whereas lanterns tend to stick around a little bit longer.
I got this here waterproof flashlight, GI issue, bent neck. And it's actually just the Sarge casting a light spell on a piece of wood that's bent and carved to look like a World War II bent neck flashlight. But it works fine. He flicks the switch up, light comes on, he shines around a little bit, clips it onto his pocket so that it can illuminate things passively. It's pretty handy.
All right. Well, then I don't see why we'd need to spend any money on lanterns and whatnot. I got a few torches if we actually need them.
Might need to pick up some more rope. We had to cut some of ours.
Oh, if we need some, I got some on me.
Yeah, let's get some good rope. Half the rope I'm carrying is this crap we got off that bridge that accidentally fell into the river for some reason.
Accidentally?
Well, yeah, something happened to it. Anyway, it's really heavy stuff and not really suitable for just carrying.
That happened to it.
Handy, high quality rope.
All right. So you should be able to find silk rope in the player's handbook and be able to purchase it from there.
That's $10 for 50 feet.
I'll give you a deal. $20 for 20 gold. I'll give you 100 feet.
Sounds good to me. Being trained by 10th Mountain Division, the Sarge has appreciation for good quality rope. He thinks this is nylon kerned climbing rope.
All right. And you have yourself a 100-foot piece, not a 50-foot piece.
That is better.
So you guys have been out here in the weather. What's the temperature like out on the sea down here? We don't want to be floating around in the cold. Might as well
As of right
get
now,
some
it's
clothes
been
if
rather
needed.
brisk at night and warm during the day.
Yeah, it's been
And
pretty
wet.
Tends to be humid.
All
But
right.
that way I haven't seen any freezes.
All right. So 10 days has come and gone. Your ship has been repaired. It's fully stocked with provisions to head on your way.
All right.
You guys have purchased everything you can or want to purchase in town?
I believe so.
Technically, I can't afford my 100 feet of rope. Hey, purser. Oh,
What's wrong?
Yeah.
I need. I don't have $20 to spend on the rope.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
We can pull that out of we can pull that out of party loot.
Okay. Yeah.
And
So 20 gold for rope.
For silk rope, 100 feet of it. I will.
Oh yeah, I picked some of that too. It's handy to have.
High quality nylon rope. You're not going to see a
Sure.
All right.
So, Brother Mayi,
Yes.
what does he mean when he says, like, buck? Like, he was saying he didn't have enough money for that rope. He said $20. What's he mean by that?
I'm not 100% sure.
That's what he calls
they
gold
may-
pieces.
Trade with deer where he comes from.
It's all about trade.
All right. That's sure.
I've been with him for 3 weeks. That's what I'm saying. So half the time.
All right.
But he can be entertaining.
All right.
All right. So you guys ready to head out?
Yeah. Sea, again, definitely been pleased to spend some time not at sea.
Okay. So you got that 17-year-old running around going, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
I'll assign him to one of the crewmen to teach him the ropes.
Next time you see him, he's got a mop in his hand and he's swabbing the deck.
Sounds good.
All right. So you guys make your way, and where are we heading towards?
We're headed towards Bach. Well, first we're going to go, down along the coast a little bit. That's across from Zur. And then when we get to the southern tip of Persh, of that part of Persh, we'll cut across over to the island where Bach is.
All right. So let me bring you back to the map you were on.
Yeah. So we sail down like this. And then when we get to here and we see that the shore is starting to head back north, we'll sail across.
Okay. So you're cutting across to the next island here.
Yep. Island of Huddig.
All right. And then show me the route you're taking from there. It seems to be pretty clear. You've had a few overcast days with rain. Hold on. Oh, yeah, I'll take care of that in a moment.
Should
You've
only
got a
take
few-
a few days to
few
get here.
overcast days, a few sunshiny days. You do catch the glimpse of a storm off in the distance, but nothing that's near you. Serge, do you have a character sheet?
Give me a second.
I
No.
don't think I ever made you one, so let me go ahead and add that in there and give you permission to do whatever you need to it.
Yeah, I just need a token, really.
Well, I mean,
What if we wind up in a fight? Wait.
why do I not see you on here? Because you're down here. That's why. All right. And I'll get you a token for that later. If you guys have any pictures you'd like for me to use for tokens, I know Sergeant Rock's got one, so and Brother Mayo looks like he has one too. I'll make some tokens for us later that are more you guys, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You have permission to do whatever you need to fix your character sheet, I believe, for Surge. And like I said, I'll put you a token in there so that you can use later.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I get a chance. Let's see. So you point where you're at now, following the
Here,
island.
we're going to follow the shore here, looking for maybe. It seems like the people of Bach must have some kind of piers or docks that they, use to do trade or whatever. Cities always have trade. And
You do see a lot of beachfront and maybe like some small, little boat docks. Right about, I'd say here.
We'll drop anchor and the sergeant won't go, but he'll send his bosun, ducks, and a crewman, and he'll send the rest of the party over there to make contact with Bach and see if there's anything of note there to buy.
All right, she will go with.
Yep.
So them and we'll say 2 crewmen make their way to Bach after about 2 or 3 days. They come back.
Days?
Yes. Because they're traveling on foot.
Oh.
And Bach is not right at the shoreline.
Wow. I get pretty impatient. We don't have another ship to sail in. So we'll give them 2 days to see if they return.
All right, so give me a perception check on the second day then. And we'll see if you can see anybody on the shoreline. Let me go to it so I can actually see it. All right, and okay, so Brother Mayi has created some very nasty tasting beer on the ship. It actually smells like rotting fish and tastes even worse.
Not a good combination. So,
all right,
I know they're jumping it overboard.
But anyway, when she and Ducks return, they inform you that the village that the village they just left was very light in people. There wasn't very many people in it. Actually, it was more the old and feeble that were there. Anybody who was any young, they found out through asking questions. Anyone young enough to leave has already left. Apparently, being in close proximity to the island of Orzul has caused several people to try to leave, find some place far away from that particular location. They do tell you they did run into a group of zombies, which were easy to dispatch, of course, but they were just roaming, and they were wearing some sort of livery design. And when asking people about it, they pointed out that, they were from the island of Orzul.
Okay.
So they make their way back to the ship. They inform you of all this. Now what? What we doing, Skip?
Well, plan A would be to stay along the coast here until we get to about here, and then jump across over to Orzul.
Okay, so
Plan B, if the rest of the crew is more interested, is to go down here, jump across, and go to where before we hit Orzul.
Well, you guys tell me which way you're going.
I'm giving the crew an option to vote for that. My idea is to go try and get straight to Orzul and go see what's going on in Mal.
I'd say we take care of Orzul. Sure, Bach's already been evacuated. That other town may have been some closer proximity.
That's good.
So Sarge, you're inventing democracy? on a ship?
Well,
Just
I'm
wondering.
not a democracy, but I'm asking people's opinions. I'm trying to promote morale.
Oh,
I will remind you that when we all set sail together originally, so long ago, we were headed to Azul. We all have missions here. We're all supposed to get there. Plus, we're hearing a lot of bad news there. I want to verify some of this stuff and see if, they're making up some crap about dead people here. Sounds like Nazi propaganda. I got to see for myself.
All right. So, are you heading the direction the ship is facing, or are you going to try to head to that little port to the right?
We're going to go straight across to Azul.
All right. So, with that, as you turn to, what is that? Starboard?
Yeah.
Starboard is right.
As you turn to the starboard and start making your way away from shore, about midday, a thick fog starts to roll in. The sky becomes overcast, and it starts to get darker. And as it gets darker, you hear the creaking of wood off to the port and starboard side of your ship.
Both sides. Surrounded. Every one of them.
Because the weather is acting the way it is, I'd like to cast a little bit of Druidcraft to see what the weather in this area is going to be for the next 24 hours.
Okay, you cast it and you get an odd result. It's supposed to be sunshiny and bright for the next 3 or 4 days here. But
Well, ain't that weird?
But right now it is overcast and foggy.
So in other words, he's like any other weather forecaster, inaccurate.
Now, as you guys are there, you hear this creaking noise from either side of your ship.
Like a ship, so I'll call out, ahoy!
The fog starts to clear somewhat within the close vicinity of your ship. And you see two ships about the same size as yours. The sails are all rotted. They look like they've been burnt or cut or just plain out torn. The ship's hulls are all damaged from cannon shots. There are some scorch marks along them, and they appear to be crewed by a mixture of zombies and skeletons. And they all seem to be wearing some sort of markings that signify that they're part of a unit or something.
It's a trick. It's just Nazis dressed up for Halloween.
And that is where we will call it for tonight. So thank you for joining us, and we may have a change in schedule in the near future. If we do, we will post it and let you know on Twitter and Facebook. So until then, have yourselves a good week.